guys. Thank you for tuning in once again to Adulthood 101 with Mishi, because I am Mishi, right? So, as you may know from the previous vlog, we are in Singapore. But before we get into that, please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. You're already watching, so please do like. Come on, join the family if you haven't subscribed. And if you have subscribed, welcome back, family. Yeah, so as you may know, we are in Singapore, and from the title, you can already see that we were deported from Singapore. But stay tuned for till the end of the vlog for you to know what really happened, what transpired, how things went, right? So I'm gonna show you the deeds or inform you on the deeds as to what happened. But in the meantime, please do watch. Happy watching, guys. Hello, guys. Okay, so on the good side, it stopped raining. We managed to go for the show. We managed to see the bridge. We even managed to even walk inside the garden, which is like amazing. Like we got to do everything that we wanted to come here and do. And it's time to bid farewell to Singapore and go back to our new hometown, which is Malaysia. So yeah, it's been good, but um on the title, I know I probably said something about we almost got deported. Thing is, what happened was, you know how Singapore is actually is a very strict country. Like people here are like very strict, like the officers and whatnot. So when we're by the immigration thing, because right, we're trying to get cleared. So the self check in first, and then we tried to do the self check in. But however, our passport could not be read, so we had to go and do manual check, like basically manual check, right? So when we went for the manual check, the the men there, they were so strict, guys, like you. And then what happened was, sorry, we're getting while we were at that manual check thing, we went to separate counters. I got cleared by God's grace, because there was this other man that was like very strict, and I was like praying to God, like, please don't let me go to that counter. Like, and then suddenly another counter opened, and I went there, and then I was cleared, nice, all good. And then they let me go. However, my partner, my better half, they, I don't know, so they're asking him like, random questions or whatnot. So at the time, I didn't know what was going on, right? And then some guy was just called to escort him to the back office, and there I am. I'm like, at that time I didn't get what was happening, right? Then, what is it called? We I followed him. So I'm cleared. I'm following someone who's being escorted by a security guard or something like that, or some sort. And then the guy just looks at me and then like, "Why are you here?" And I'm like, "We're together. Why are you asking me that?" And then he just took my passport and then started walking. I'm like, "No, I'm lost. Like, what's going on? How is this happening? Like, what is really going on right now?" And he was not saying anything, and then he got us into an office. Like, there was a door, and then we got inside the door. There was an elevator. He had to do some fingerprint things. Like, it was closed doors. And then we get into the elevator, and then we get to another. We had two more closed doors that needed his fingerprint, and then he put them in, and then he just told us to sit down, and then he took our passport. I'm like, that's when I said sit down, and I was now asking my better half like, what's going on, what happened. And then it's like, I don't know, they just asked me if I have my yellow fever vaccine, and then I told them that I don't have it because I'm coming from Malaysia. So um I wasn't asked all of those questions. You're here for, what's your name? And yeah, that was basically, did you do the pre-check-in thingy? That's basically what I was asked. No one asked me about no yellow fever thing. And then yeah, that's what happened. And then we sat at the back office, and there were other people there as well. And then there was a poor boy, Shem. I think, I don't know what happened with him, but then he couldn't understand English, he couldn't understand Chinese. And then they had to talk to him in Cantonese. Like, the guys were speaking in English, and then this other lady would translate in Cantonese, asking him, like, why are you here? He was there for work apparently, and he didn't have a work permit. And it's like, I think he's a teen because he looked really really young. And I think, poor guy, shame. Anyways, back to my story. So we're just sitting there and we're like, what is going on? And my better half was called to the counter, and then they was asking, what's your yellow fever? I'm like, I didn't bring it here because I'm staying in Malaysia, right? So in the end, they actually had to go through his passport, and then they saw like, oh, he's been here for a very long time. And then after that, then started asking me, like, I think the guy who was now talking to him was like a bit embarrassed now, because it's like, okay, you were brought here for the wrong reasons, whatnot. Because I think they thought we were coming straight from Zimbabwe to Singapore, and then we don't even have our vaccination cards. And then yeah, and I was like, oh, you're here with your wife? And he's like, yeah, we're just here for a visit, right? Which we are here to do, right? And then, yeah, I was like, oh, so where can I go? Like, they started having like small talk basically. But in the end, we were almost deported basically because of a yellow fever vaccination card. So if you are of our beautiful skin and you are mainly male, I know even women, yes, but mainly male, please make sure you walk around with your yellow fever vaccination card. Even if they won't ask you for it, it's better to be safe than sorry. Okay? So yeah, anyways, that's it guys. That's my little story as to how we almost got deported in Singapore on the same day that we had arrived because we were relocating for a day. Y'all's. Bye. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hello, guys. Now I am back home. I know I had caused off this vlog, however, more things happened. When I closed that vlog, I was actually still at the immigration side. We hadn't crossed over from Singapore to back to Malaysia. We crossed over, or we're trying to cross over actually. And then again, we went through the normal check-in, the self check-in thing, and then this time around, okay, our passports actually let us, like, the gate actually opened, and then they were trying to scan our faces, recognize like our faces. And then we had to, someone from ICA had to be called, and then we had to like exit now the soft check-in kama place day. And then we went to this counter manual again, right? But then this time it was me. Guys, life is like a wheel. In the previous clip, I was like talking about how it was my better half that was on the chopping board. Me? But this time it was me. They were after me. They wanted me. The guy scans the passport, and then he's like, he asked me to do the face scan thing, and then I scanned my face, and then he asked me to scan again, and then he made me do my fingerprint thingies. I did them. He asked me, when was the last time I was in Singapore? I'm like, I think 2017, 2018, 2019, somewhere in there. Like, I really don't remember because I've only ever been here once. And it's like, with this current passport that you have, I'm like, no, this was with my old passport. Had he asked me what was my old passport number, I would have said it. I would have told him because I remember. But he didn't ask. Instead, what did he do? He took my passport and then he's like, can you put the signature that's on your passport right now? And then he hit my passport, and then I signed. I'm like thinking, I know my signature, so it should be fine. He looked at it and then he compared the two. I think there was some difference because the one on my passport is a bit bigger compared to the one that I actually use. And then he asked me again, sign. And then he's like, I'll ask you one more time, can you please sign for me, like your signature that's on your passport? Okay, I tried to make it a bit bigger this time. I signed. And then he's like, okay, what do you currently do? And then I told him what I currently do. A little did I, then I remembered what's on my visa is not what I'm currently doing at work. It was too late to even correct him because I couldn't say, oh, wait, sorry, I'm, that was it. Then he started, I think for someone like me, my body weight is always AA. Like, so the picture on my passport, the picture on my visa, and the picture, like, and the me that I am right now, the weight is different. So I probably look different. So I think they thought I was impersonating myself basically. At this point, I'm impersonating myself because these look like different people. Like, how are you the same person? I'm thinking, is it because I now have a nose ring? Because I didn't have one when I got my passport. No, did I have one when I got my visa picture? I don't know. At this, he was not saying anything. Then he asked, "Who's this person that you're with?" I'm like, "That's my husband." Like, okay, cool. And then he asked him, "What is your current job role?" And then he told him, and then he's like, "Okay, cool." And then then they're like, "Same company." It's like, "Yeah, okay, cool." And then they asked me again. He's like, "Do you have like an ID from work that you currently have?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have, but I don't have it with me because I'm traveling. Like, why would I be walking around with my work ID card? Like, make sense to me." Of course, I didn't tell him at that point, but then I was like, I didn't travel with it because I left it at home. Oh, you're going back to Malaysia? Yes. For work? Yes. Okay. I thought we're done. We stood there again. He asked me to do the face recognition again. And then he started doing some things on the PC. It took so long. Like, it took forever. And then after that, he's like, okay. He called someone. And then it's like, then there was like this place where you can sit, but then there's a gate. So he made us sit there and it's like, can you guys sit there? Someone's gonna come and fetch you. I'll explain later. But before he did that, he asked my husband, like, you guys are married, right? Yeah. Do you have anything to prove that you guys are actually married? And I'm like, then he was ready to give the marriage certificate. And it's like, okay, cool, cool, wait. You keep that for later when you need to prove who you are. We're like, what? What do you mean? And then we sat there like criminals that we are, impersonating myself, right? I am impersonating myself. And then everyone else is passing through the self check in, check out place. And then we're just sitting there in this little cage thing with, like, there's a door that they have to open. We cannot open it by ourselves. They have to open it. And then we sat there for a very long. Anyways, and then, oh, this other two ladies came and fetched us, and then they're like, okay, cool. And then they, at this point, we didn't have our passports, right? Because this guy still had the passport. So these ladies came and then took the passport from the guy, and then they went. We then they're like, okay, follow these guys, and then again, remember the in the previous clip I said we were taken to the back room in the immigration whatever. They took us there again, but instead of arrivals, we're taken to the departure side because we're trying to leave. We sat there. They were trying to cook us. Like, I think maybe they're thinking these guys are going to panic or whatever. But then, like, how am I impersonating myself? Like, make that make sense. Like, I really don't understand at this point. And then no one is saying anything to us at this point. Like, we're just they're just told, sit down, and then the ladies left. I don't know where our passports are. I don't know what we're doing there. Like, we're just there. And then after, I don't know, maybe like 15 minutes, the guy who was actually there already called us. He was like, "Oh, hi. So, you guys called in earlier." And then, well, then he answered like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was about yellow fever. What?" And he's like, "Okay, cool." Then he's like, "Sit down." We sat down, and then he was just looking into our passports for a very long time. Also, maybe like 7, 10 minutes. We're just sitting there. No one is telling us anything. Yada yada yada. Then they called him, and then he's like, oh, sorry, actually, this guy didn't really look into the system properly because they couldn't find you, so that's why you guys are here, because they couldn't find your documents in the system. So it's like we entered Singapore without like declaring that we're coming inside or something like that. We just, I don't know, found our way inside Singapore. I don't know how. We just woke up there. Then it's like, it's okay, I found your details. And then he's like, okay, next time just walk around with your yellow fever, and then maybe this won't happen again. But then this was not because of yellow fever. This was because my face was, I don't know, changing. Because at some point when we were still at the counter thing, the guy, I don't know, he had a picture on the screen, and then he had my passport, and then he looked at me, and then he was like, so yeah. Oh, what a day. But anyways, we're now back in Malaysia. Finally made it back. Everything all checked out. And then it also doesn't help that my current visa is a piece of paper. It's like a printed paper. Like, it's on a printed piece of paper. So of course I'm an imposter. I am impersonating myself, because how does someone have a visa that's in a piece of paper? Malaysian immigration, please do better for me. For some of us, because we're suffering here walking around with a piece of paper thinking that's our visa. So every time I walk around, I have to present a piece of paper that's printed saying that I am legally supposed to be in Malaysia because I work there, because you don't want to print the stamp on my passport. Even this whole go green thing, not like this. No, man, something's gotta give. Anyways, this is really now the end. We are home, safe and sound, and yeah, thank you. I'm tired. It was nice walking with you guys, exploring, being tourists. Yeah, touring Singapore. It's a really beautiful place. And then for those that would want to go there, for us, we were using a touch and go card. I'll look for a picture of it and then I insert it somewhere here. It's for those in Zim, it's equivalent to EcoCash, but I think with a Visa card. Mm. So we didn't really have to do like the whole um money exchange, whatever, whatever. Everything that we're doing, from train to bus, everything touch and go. And you have to activate some overseas thingy on the touch and go app, and then you'll be home and dry. But other than that, all good. Bye.